So what are we supposed to make of the Bills last night, who beat the Dolphins, but now we're like sitting here trying to figure out if that's really good enough considering the expectations in Buffalo?
Yeah, nitpicking the elite of the NFL, and that's kind of the reality of what we have to do for that group of teams that we know is going to be there. I think the thing that you could take away, and I heard you guys talk about the defensive performance, and it's fair. Two stars not playing, and those are two impactful stars. Ed is one of the better defensive tackles in football, and Matt is one of the best linebackers in football. So factor that in. I think the second thing is this defense has been trending on one, being very turnover dependent for about 2 or 3 years now. And then two, if you value the ball versus this defense, and that's like your number one priority, you can be efficient moving the football against them. They're not overly complicated. They do not throw a lot of different looks at you. They don't have a dominant superstar on their defense. They don't have a game wrecker on their defense. So you can have success against them. And that's kind of what they're always going to be, at least under Sean. We've seen that in the playoffs with Baltimore and them. So if you value the football, you can kind of do what you want efficiency-wise against them. They're not really going to allow you to put the ball over their heads. Offensively, they're going to score 30-plus points a game when they want to. It's just how they are constructed. So I'm not in the least bit concerned. I know who the Bills are. They'll be at worst a divisional round at worst.
And looking at the other side of the ball last night, I have unfortunately gotten to the point where I say it's not if Tua throws a pick at the most inopportune time. It is when Tua throws a pick at the most inopportune time. What is Tua at this point in his NFL career, and what's his future? Is it in Miami?
Yeah, I would assume it's in Miami as long as Mike McDaniel's there. I think a lot of the questions getting asked about Tua and his performance this year are probably fair. That's the reality of that job in business. Tua's always been a guy that throws the ball before guys are open. His anticipation, his ability to play fast, that's his superpower. He doesn't have elite arm strength or elite physical measurables, but he can layer a football into windows before the windows are even open. And so you live in a little bit of a world as a quarterback that plays that way, while more often than not, you are believing that what you're doing with the football is before the defense knowing it. There's times when that defense could trick you, or that defense can luck into an interception, or you can miss that window and it's a foot higher than it wants to be, or a foot behind the receiver than you are anticipating. And so I think we've seen a couple interceptions this year that look that way. Last night's interception with 3 minutes to go, I go back and forth. I've seen, I heard Tua say, well, it was a great play by the defender. And I will say, yes. I've also lived in the world where I'm like, Tua, that's a very basic play, and you should know that backer's driving. And so what is he? I still think Tua is a good player. I do. I think we have enough evidence of Tua as a player that says he's a good player. Does he have to fit a very unique and small quantity offense, or small kind of packaged offense? Absolutely. But if he's in that, which is the one he's in, he should be able to thrive more often than not. There's a reality where they just cannot run the football internally. They just can't. They haven't since Mike got there. And so that impacts their ability to play ball at certain times. But Tua's got to play cleaner football. He knows that.
All right, so let's stick with quarterbacks, because on First Take this week, when you were talking about Josh Allen, here's your quote. The only people on the planet that can do what Josh does, I would tell you, are Lamar Jackson, probably Patrick Mahomes, and then maybe Justin Herbert. So Justin Herbert, quarterback of the Chargers. The Chargers relying on him a lot more this year. What have you seen from Herbert this year, specifically with this iteration of the Chargers, that puts him in that category?
Aggression. They have unleashed him with an aggressive mindset of we're gonna throw the ball early in the football game and early on downs. And I've seen him be very aggressive with his decision making, and he's pushing the ball downfield. Like they have a really unique way of style of football this year, of like putting him underneath the center, multiple tight ends, couple offensive linemen, and they're trying to drive the football downfield. And then the second thing is he's been much more willing as a runner, no matter the situation. First down, it's not there, take off. Third down, it's, you feel pressure, take off. You see a seam, take off. And that's a different version of Justin. I think philosophically, as an organization, that's a different version. Since Harbaugh got there, they've always raved about Justin and been like, this guy's one of the all-time great talents. But I don't believe the play calling has matched those words. It's been a little bit reserved and handcuffy at times last year. And this year, it's like the opposite. They're just saying, we got the best player in the NFL, in our opinion. And so we're just going to continue to unleash him. I mean, Jason, I'll tell you this. We called their game, obviously, on Monday Night Football. And I'm not saying this to come across as humble or anything. But pregame, we're standing there talking, and I'm a foot from him. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, there's no way that we played the same position in the same league. I'm 6'5", and he makes me look like I'm a average sized human. He's an enormous physical presence, and the ball just rifles off of his hand. And so athletically, he's a star. So I just think, style of play wise and the physical ability to do that's a very small group. And in my mind, there's no question he's in that.
I think we're all ready. I'm ready. I'm excited to see Justin Herbert kind of take that next step. Also excited to see Caleb Williams take that next step. And you have been kind of banging on the table saying, please, everybody, please just give Caleb Williams a little bit more time. And I think that's an important message in the microwave society that we live in, that we all want immediate returns on the young quarterback investment. But what are some things that you look for in young and developing quarterbacks, little breadcrumbs that you can pick up on to say, yes, that development is happening and he is moving in the right direction?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I would answer it by saying, one, I was team Jaden Daniels over Caleb. Okay, so this isn't a biased thing where I was like, Caleb. Two, I was also the person who had reservations about Ben Johnson and Caleb's marriage because of the style of offense and the style of quarterback. So again, this isn't coming from I'm trying to CYA myself type of thing. I just know the foundation and staples of this offense are in contrast to the style of play that Caleb's, one, comfortable with, and two, been successful in. The breadcrumbs that you look for with young and developing quarterbacks are, one, are you cleaning up the physical flaws that you have in your game from college? Because every single one of these quarterbacks has them. That doesn't mean that's going to be the reason that they're not going to be good, but if you don't fix them, it will be. And so Caleb's flaws were holding onto the football, relying too much on athleticism, making it too hard on himself, and in the pocket, throwing the ball too hard to windows and not having the proper touch because the arm is so live. So you're trying to see, okay, is that enhancing? Are you playing faster with your eyes? Are you getting off of the first progression quicker? And so there's moments when, yes, and through 2 weeks, and there's moments when no, that's still there. Does he have moments when he's making it too hard on himself? We're like, hey, dude, that coach called this pass concept to get 4 yards. That's all he wants to do is get 4 yards. If you get more, God bless you. Throw the ball to the guy who's open at 4 yards. I know you don't want to because it's an easy throw and anybody in the league can make it. That's why he called the play, okay? And sometimes he does that and sometimes he doesn't. In the pocket, there's guys that are open. I don't need you to howl it to the football every time, bud. Like it's an 8-yard in route. I don't need you to throw this thing like it's, you got to step on it. And so I think you're trying to see if they fix their flaws. Are they understanding defense? Are they understanding the why of the play call? Why is coach calling this play in this situation? What's the defense? What do I do with the football? Everyone loses sight of that. Defenses tell quarterbacks what to do with the ball, not the play call. I can come to the line of scrimmage and I know what the reason of the play call is, but if the defense doesn't give me the defense that is ideal for that play call, then I got to have a different answer. That's great problem. So is he being a great problem solver? And so again, there's ups and downs. And so I just know it's going to take time. He's played a style of football that he's played for 10, 15 years, and it's been great and it's worked for him. That style is not going to work in this offense. It's just not. And so you got to break years and years and years of habits while also building the ones that are necessary in this scheme.
And that's why, okay, so I'm going to take a bit of a victory lap here, Dan. We've known each other a minute. You know, I like to talk when I'm right. Okay, so here's the thing. I like, instead of just looking at quarterbacks, I like to look at quarterbacks and coaches together like an 80s wrestling tag team. So you got to have both of them together to make the right combo, which is why I was in love with the concept of Daniel Jones. I rarely say I'm right, but I called it before the season. I called the Colts as the favorite, and Daniel Jones is comeback player of the year. I need your insight because Steichen – Jones together. Is it sustainable? How is it working? What's making this actually happen?
So is it sustainable? I'm 50-50 on it because I know I've seen Daniel play for a long time and I've seen in multiple situations, him not really perform in certain situations, but then I'm going, well, this is a new one. And so far it's been awesome. So, I don't want to be a hater. Well, also I'm having some reservations on, am I banking on it for a full year? Daniel's not going to be comeback player of the year. He'll be in the MVP conversation if he continues to play like this. And that's not being hyperbolic. Why is it working? There's one that you really have to attribute to Daniel. There's a reality. Daniel's playing in a way that we've never seen him play. Jason, I tell you that coming out of school, his big issue was panicking with the football in moments of chaos. And that's what led to sacks and fumbles and sack fumbles and interceptions. And in through 2 weeks, he's been in those moments of chaos. He's just played to a level decision-making wise and throw-wise that he's never been before. He's never had before. He's been flawless in it. And so that's a credit to him that part of his game seems to be, again, through 2 weeks enhanced. I think you're seeing two things that why it's working when it comes to just there's surroundings is Shane's really started to shine as a play designer and play caller. And you see some of that creativity that we loved when he was in Philly and certainly his past in the Chargers. And two, they got a lot of talent. Like they have a lot of really good players. Pittman Jr. is a really good player. A.D. Mitchell's a talented young man. Josh Downs kills in the slot. Warren's a big time chess piece. Good offensive line. Jonathan Taylor is very good. So that's one of the reasons why Indy was like a little bit of an enticing place for quarterbacks. And so I think because of the play calling and scheme enhancing, the people around him being a plus unit, and then Daniel's play, that's kind of what you're seeing right now. But the biggest question of sustainability is, will Daniel continue to do in those moments of chaos what he's done in 2 weeks?
Dan, as always, man, we appreciate your time. You're in town. Quick, best concert you saw. Dan and I were concert buddies all summer. What was the best concert you saw? I'm holding your feet to the fire. You're going to make one of your friends mad.
Yeah, best concert I saw was the Jordan Davis one at the casino in Connecticut. He was so cool, so kind. He was great to my family. I was with my family. That's the first concert we ever went to as a family. So I'll always remember that one. Morgan's is tremendous as well, but the Jordan one was special.